If you're thinking about moving to Cincinnati, Ohio, stop what you're doing and watch this video first. I have lived here my entire life. I grew up here. I went to school here. I built my career here, and I have helped hundreds of people find their home here. And I can tell you right now, Cincinnati is one of the most underrated cities in the entire country. But there are some things, some really important things that most relocation guys just aren't going to tell you. The stuff you only know if you actually live here. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what to expect, which neighborhoods to consider, and whether Cincinnati is the right move for you. Let's get into it. Real quick, I'm Leah Joos. I'm a real estate agent here in Cincinnati with Keller Williams, and I was born and raised right here in this city. I'm not someone who just moved here 2 years ago and started making some videos. This is home for me. I make videos every single week about living in Cincinnati, the neighborhoods, the home prices, the market, all of it. So if any of that sounds useful, hit subscribe. New videos every week. All right, now let's talk about what it's actually like to move to Cincinnati. Here's the first thing that surprises almost everyone that moves here. Greater Cincinnati is technically in 2 different states, Ohio and Kentucky. The Ohio River splits the metro. In the northern Kentucky side, cities like Covington and Newport and Ludlow is absolutely part of the Cincinnati experience. And a lot of people move to northern Kentucky and commute into Cincinnati for work. You get a lower cost of living, lower property taxes, and you are literally a 10-minute drive into downtown. So when you're researching where to live, don't write off northern Kentucky. It's technically another state, but it is a legitimate option. And a lot of my clients end up there after they see what their money can buy. Number 2, Cincinnati is hilly, like genuinely hilly. This is not flat Midwestern terrain. This city sits on a series of hills and valleys carved out by the Ohio River. And it gives Cincinnati this really beautiful, almost layered look. But practically speaking, it means commute times can vary quite a bit depending on which side of the hill you live on. It also means some streets are dramatic. That also means some driveways are steep. So here's the upside. Those hills create some of the most incredible views you will ever see in a Midwestern city. Eden Park at sunset, the overlooks in Hyde Park and Mount Lookout. I grew up here and they still take my breath away. The geography is absolutely part of what makes the city so special. Now, this is the thing I love most about Cincinnati. And it's also the thing that makes finding the right home just a little bit more complex. Every single neighborhood here has its own personality. They're not interchangeable. Hyde Park's your classic established neighborhood, beautiful homes, tree-lined streets, top-rated schools. Hyde Park Square with great restaurants and boutiques. It's where a lot of families with kids want to be. Oakley, which is right next to Hyde Park, has more of a younger, active, energetic feel. There's a great bar and restaurant scene, a little more affordable really, super walkable. My clients in their 30s who are buying their very first house are always drawn to Oakley. Then there's Over the Rhine, or as we call it here, OTR. It's downtown adjacent and has an incredible revitalization effort that's taken place over the last decade. Historic breweries and architecture, art galleries. It's not for everyone, but if you want that kind of city living, it is genuinely cool. Mount Lookout and Columbia Tusculum have more of a small town within the city feel. Very community oriented, beautiful older homes, right near the river. And then there are the suburbs. We've got Mason, Westchester, Blue Ash, Liberty Township. They're all completely different. More space, newer construction, highly rated school districts, very family friendly. The point is, do not just pick a city, pick a neighborhood. And if you want help figuring out which one fits your life just right, that's literally what I do. Okay, the cost of living. This is where people who move here from coastal cities genuinely have a moment. Cincinnati is about 11% cheaper than the national average for housing. The average home price in the Cincinnati metro is right around $400,000, but you can find a great home in fantastic neighborhoods in the $300,000 range. And for $500,000 and up, you're looking at something really, really nice. I have clients who move here from California, New York, DC, and when they see what their budget buys them in Cincinnati, it changes everything for them. You can afford the kind of home you've been dreaming about. Groceries, utilities, restaurants, all of it's just a little bit more affordable here than those major metros. You're not giving up quality of life to get it. That is the real Cincinnati deal. Now, I do want to be real with you. Home prices have definitely risen here over the last few years, just like everywhere. It is a competitive market. But compared to where most of my out-of-state clients are coming from, it really still feels like a bargain. I cannot do this video without talking about Cincinnati chili, because if you move here, this is going to happen to you. Someone's going to take you to Skyline Chili, and you're going to get a big bowl of chili poured over some spaghetti, topped with a mountain of cheddar cheese, and you're literally going to say to yourself, what is this? And then you're going to eat it. And then you're going to crave it for the rest of your life. Okay, that might just be me, but still. Cincinnati chili is not Texas chili. It has a completely different flavor profile. Cinnamon, chocolate, a blend of spices that sounds totally weird until you taste it. Skyline and Gold Star are the two biggest chains here. There are people who will argue with genuine passion about which one's better. I grew up on Skyline, and that is all I will say. But seriously, the food here is way better than you would expect. From the chili to the brewery culture, the restaurants and OTR, we have multiple James Beard awarded, nominated chefs and restaurants. Cincinnati definitely punches above its weight. And if you like sports, welcome. And if you do not like sports, you're going to have to learn to like sports, because Cincinnati has the Bengals, the Reds, FC Cincinnati, and people here are passionate. Game days in the city have a real energy and vibe to them. The stadiums are all right downtown, right by the riverfront, which is just an absolutely beautiful setting. The Bengals Super Bowl run in 2022 genuinely united the city in a way I have not seen since the Reds won the World Series in 1990. And I was still a child then, but still. FC Cincinnati has a stunning new stadium, TQL, and the fan base that shows up for every game. And if you're coming from a city without an MLS team, you are going to love it. Just know, the Bengals, the Reds, FC, these are not just teams here. They're truly part of the culture, so embrace it. And I hope you like the name Joey, because between our love of retired first baseman Joey Votto and our cutie quarterback Joe Burrow, it's a name that's thrown around here a lot. All right, I promise to tell you what no one tells you. So here's the real talk. Winter here is real. We get cold, we get snow, we get the gray January days. Honestly, seasonal depression can hit hard, so just be prepared. It is the Midwest, so manage your expectations. But spring and fall in Cincinnati, genuinely so beautiful. The city comes alive in a way that makes every winter worth it. Well, almost. And traffic. Cincinnati's highway system is, how do you say this, unique. There are some bridges and interchanges that will test your patience. For instance, I literally hold my breath every single time I pass over the Brent Spence Bridge. And I prefer 71 to 75. And I will be forever grateful for Cross County and the Norwood Lateral for connecting the two. Personally, I think the traffic is manageable. We aren't Atlanta, we're not LA bad, but where you choose to live relative to where you work does matter here. This is something I always help my clients think through when they're considering a move. Here's another thing. People are going to ask you where you went to school. And no, I don't mean college. Yes, you heard that right. You will be asked this question, and the reply expected is your high school. Do not let this deter you. Public and private education in Cincinnati runs deep, as do the families who have lived here for a very long time. Just don't be caught off guard when your answer is met with a little confusion. The city's growing. There's a lot of development happening, especially in OTR, the east side, and the suburbs north of the city. That's good news for buyers in terms of home values, but it also means some areas are changing quickly. And here's the thing I always tell people. Cincinnati is a city that rewards you for exploring it. The longer you live here, the more you find hidden gem restaurants, beautiful parks. You literally have no idea what's going to exist around the corner. Neighborhoods that surprise you. It is not a city that shows you everything on day one. So, should you move to Cincinnati? Here's my honest answer. If you are looking for a city with real neighborhoods, a genuine community feel, a cost of living that lets you actually live, great food, great sports, and a lot of Midwest heart, then yes, Cincinnati is a really good move. It's not flashy. We don't brag about ourselves, but the people who move here almost always stay. And that tells you something. I make a new video every single week about living in Cincinnati, the neighborhood tours, home prices, the real estate market, all of it. So subscribe so you do not miss any of my videos. And if you're seriously considering a move to Cincinnati, I put together a free Cincinnati relocation guide. It covers every neighborhood, what homes cost, school districts, all of it. Links in the description below. Download it. It's completely free, no strings attached. And if you have questions, drop them in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. I am Leah Joos. I am your Cincinnati real estate resource, and I will see you in the next video.